Hey guys, what's up? It's me, TheBigRedOmen, here to talk with you a little bit about the hype train for Planes of Eidolon. I know we're all excited for that and the new Warframe, but this video is going to be exclusively about planes, what weapons I approve, what frames that I'm going to approve, so let's hop into this. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know is that Planes of Eidolon is going to be utilizing the arc wings and a lot of, well, the arc wing abilities. I'm pretty sure from the trailers that we've been seeing in the gameplay that we're not going to be allowed to use Arcwing weapons, so this is also going to go with your weapons that you bring with you. So the Arcwings that I have, that I've prepped for this, and that I would recommend that everybody have in their arsenal are the Itzel, because number one, it's a stealth Arcwing, and as you can see with the third ability here, it large AoE deals a lot of damage. The Amesha because it's a healing frame, Arcwing, and the Elytron because that is the tank slash damage dealing Arcwing. So I recommend that you get all of those, form of them, at least get all of your mod slots filled up, put some catalysts in it, reactors, whichever, I always get those confused. So the map size is going to be fairly large. If I remember right, they said it was going to be like 3 kilometers squared, but it's going to be very large. Not as large as everybody's hyping it up to be, but there's also going to be mining, and you're going to be able to fish. There's going to be shops and stuff. There's going to be a town. So, just prepare yourself for that. Get ready for your quests. Get your groups set up. So let's move right into the next section. We'll start talking about some of the frames and weapons that you should bring with you. Yep. Okay, so it's gonna be massive. This is gonna be a huge update. From what I hear, it might range anywhere from 3 to 4 gigabytes to 34, but this is just things that I've been seeing on Facebook and on Twitter and things, and you can never tell, especially with Steve. That guy's a troll. So, with the size that it's gonna be, you have to think about Warframes that are going to be able to move fairly quickly and help your squad move quickly. So Titania can turn into a tiny Arcwing herself. She's a pixie. She's going to be able to fly really quickly. Her passive is going to help with moving around quickly as a squad. Volt, because he has his speed ability, that scales off of power strength, so the higher that your power strength is, the faster you'll be able to move. And Zephyr, because Zephyr has an augment for one of her abilities that speeds everybody up. Everybody on the team, as long as they're within range of you. The next thing that we want to talk about is the fact that this is going to be an open world area. There's going to be a lot of places where there's not going to be a lot of cover, especially during these events that we're going to be seeing that show up just out of nowhere. Probably pretty useful against the Eidolons, maybe. I haven't looked up any gameplay for that because I want to go in completely surprised, and I'm sure some of you do too, so I'm not going to be giving away any spoilers. But talking of that, Frost, because of his Frost bubble, would be really useful to have because you'd be able to basically hide up with your squad. Now, some people would probably say Limbo would be good, but just take that as you might, take it with a grain of salt, because if you use Limbo, 9 times out of 10, somebody on your squad is going to call you trash. It's just something that it is about this game. Now, for the random events, I would recommend taking Nova for her 4th ability to help kill the enemies faster. Nyx, because she can cause the enemies to fight each other. Saren, because of all of her toxic abilities that can chain together. And Vauban with the Repelling Bastille augment mod, so that you can keep things, at bay a little bit. Now, one of the other things I wanted to talk about is you're going to want somebody on your team playing distance, playing sniper, and if you're going to be doing that, you should have an Ashe or an Ivara, in my opinion. Ashe can be used as a stealth frame because obviously he can go invisible, but he's also got other mods that could help in a fight, like his Seeking Shuriken and his Fatal Teleport mod, so that you can, get in, deal some damage to the heavy hitters and stuff. What we want to talk about next is tanking. I would recommend bringing Rhino or Nezha, literally just because of their abilities that basically make them invincible until you wear down their armor. And backtracking just a second, talking about Ivara, She's also going to be really useful for traversing the landscape because of her dash wire ability, so that you can make zip lines to get across big gaps, and I'm sure there are going to be plenty of those. And speaking of that, she can also stay invisible for a long time. Now, the only healing frame that I would recommend is Oberon, and I'm gonna basically say exactly what Mogamu has said. You don't want to be a wet nurse with Trinity if you're going to be playing healer. Oberon doesn't have a range on his healing ability, so if you have, like you can see on my screen where you can see your teammates' health bars, you'll be able to heal them from anywhere on the map. Now, there are some weapons that I recommend for Plains of Eidolon. Obviously, any Syndicate weapon should be fine. If you're at that point where you can get Syndicate weapons, you probably already have decent enough gear for this. The Sivirus, because it's a long range, same thing with the Latron, medium to long range. You can use it at close if you fire from the hip. I recommend the Snipetron, Vandal, the Lenka, the Rubico, and the Vectis if you're going to be playing Sniper. And the Soma, the Burst, and the Braddon, and the Boar are all going to be useful for the events and such, but, you know, bring whatever you're comfortable playing with. Now, the secondaries I'm going to recommend are the Lex, basically any AC weapon. The Azima, which is the 150-day reward. With that, you can use the alternate fire, and you basically deploy a miniature turret for a few seconds that'll help you out, be very useful in the events and in close quarters, which I'm sure there's not going to be much of. The Pandero, because it can be used at a distance, but also if something gets close, you can use the alternate fire to empty the entire magazine into them in a matter of seconds. We're going to use the Sicarus. That's pretty decent. It's one of the early on weapons, so if you're new, that's something you can use. The Zocti, that'll also be useful for clearing some areas, like get a bunch of enemies grouped up, just fire into them, dude. It's all good. The Bronco, because that's going to be close range weapon. The Marlock, because you can use that at a distance also as well, and that's a very strong weapon. And the Twin Grakadas, because Clem, dude, do it for the meme. That's the only reason. Now, the melee weapons I recommend are going to be the Ak and Brunt or the Silva and Aegis, because obviously you can use them as a shield, and it's going to be very useful, especially if you're playing tank. The war weapons, because Broken Ward's good, and the war is good, plus you're going to be fighting the Grenier. Probably not going to be fighting any Corpus at all. Maybe a little bit of Infested. Maybe. Like, that's just a thing that might happen, so having the impact on the war would be great. The Galatine, that'll definitely scale good if you're running tank, like if you want to run an Excalibur or a Valkyr, that'll be great. The Jot Kusar, that thing literally melts enemies like butter, dude. It's crazy. The Nakana, any of the 3 variants of the Nakana would be good. It all depends on what mods you use, though. Now, the throwing melees, as you can see in the video, I'm using a Glaive Prime, with the dual wield with the Ballistica Prime. This is my build you're seeing. Ivara, Snipetron, Glaive, Ballistica Prime. Let's see. Yeah, literally any throwing melee, because it'll be really useful to be able to take enemies out at a distance stealthily, because I'm sure that during the night there's going to be sections where there's going to be, like, stealth events or something like that. And the Zenistar also, just because of the large AoE, that's the day 300 reward weapon. I'll be covering that in a later video, so if you're wanting to learn more about that, you can see that. The Dark Split Sword, because it is a great sword, and if you put a dual sword stance on it, it turns into dual sword, so that can be useful in a couple of different situations. Now, if you want to use daggers, I recommend that you use them with Ash, with a Fatal Teleport mod, and a Covert Lethality on the dagger. The Pole Arms they'll be good. The good damage, good range. Then we have the Twin Basalk, which is going to be really, really, really good for the Grenier. It's got fire damage. Now, I know that we're all really, really hyped for this update, but you have to understand that when it comes out, there are going to be some bugs. So if the game is a little buggy, you know, don't be too upset about it. Don't go into the region and complain. Don't get on their Twitter, because, you know, obviously they know they're gonna fix it. You know, you don't have to get on there and be a jerk about it. So hopefully you found this video a little bit conclusive. It helped you a little bit. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you didn't. If you didn't learn anything, give me a dislike. It's completely okay. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, though. I really do. So if you liked the video, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Get your things together, level your Archwing. I'll see you guys later.